It's a late night, and if you're not sleeping, you're jaking off. The Jaking Off Show is brought to you by adults obsessed with Disney. Yeah, you can mature, but you're never gonna grow up. And I respect you for that. But listen, you're a fucking grown ass person. Why you gotta talk about kids' movies? Sure, fucking shit like Aladdin and The Lion King, they're all being remade so you feel old and it's nostalgic and you're gonna go see it. And those movies are great, but, with all things that are nostalgic, it doesn't mean that they're fucking, that they hold up, What's the fucking Lion King? It's Hamlet with lions. What's Aladdin? It's fucking pathological liar gets a rich girl. And she probably licks like the tip of his dick. She doesn't know anything about her sexuality or nothing. Like, what the fuck? Like, you look at it through a different light when you're an adult. When you're a kid, it's magic and wonder and all that. Like, nah, the magic is fucking gone. It's fucking gone. Sit the fuck down, take off your pants, light a joint, let's start the party. It's fucking Monday. What you did last week doesn't mean shit. You start fresh, you start new, and fuck, man, it's been a 4-day weekend. Is that a weekend? A weekend is that's 2 weekends in a row. That's what that is. But yeah, it's Monday. You start over, you start fresh. Second week of July. Holy shit, we're almost halfway done. No, we're more than halfway done with 2019. Yeah. A lot's changed so far, but damn, here we are. 6 months ago, I was still working at a different job, and now like I got a different job. I was at this frozen yogurt joint for 4 years. That's, if I live to be 40, that's a fraction of my life. That's 10% of my life. No, the math is wrong. I don't fucking know how to do math. Who gives a fuck? It's been a long day for me. But yeah, Monday, shit. Working out, doing this. I'm a fucking soldier, god damn it. I'm hyped. I'm ready. It's also post show, so I've got extra oomph in my step. Because I did a show last night, and it was fucking savage. I love it. I love it when some friends show up. And it would be even better if every single comic got at least 5 friends to a show. That's a packed house. But, that's just a fantasy when it comes to the level that I'm at in comedy, which is just open micer, bar shows. You get paid in a drink ticket. I don't drink alcohol, so I'll either give it to another comic or just have a ginger ale or whatever. I can't. I don't drink. It's not fun for me anymore. I don't like it anymore. I don't miss it, really. It's not. It's just the passion's gone. The passion's gone. It's just not there anymore. And God, I'm a fickle man when it comes to things that are lovely and all that. Speaking of fickle, I've been thinking about who I am as a person when it comes to a committed relationship. Now, I haven't been in a committed relationship for about 5 years. Like a committed, real, I love you, let's go on dates, fucking, I like spending time with you, blah-ba-dee fucking blah. So I've fallen into a routine of being single and all that. And I've learned, I learned this all the time, is that I'm really not boyfriend material. I'm really not. Even though I didn't grow up with my father, I've picked up a lot of his habits, which is very weird, is that I'm not a faithful guy. I don't like to admit it, but I'm not that type. I'm just not that type. Because as soon as I get romantically involved with a woman, I've already thought about cheating on you right out the gate. I've already thought about it. Okay, I have the smell of relationship on me. I have more confidence to talk to women. Whatever, I could just have a conversation. Like I have better conversations with women who are in a relationship because I know like okay, there's a bro code here. We don't cross that line. We just don't go there. We get to know them as people. But if it's a single girl, um, and then we talk and we get along and then we start dating, like I've already like I don't know how else to explain it. Like somewhere in my brain, as soon as I've it's really evil. As soon as I've gained the trust of another person that cares about me, I immediately think about ways to get away with things or be deceitful and all that. It's really bad software. You know, my mother taught me better than that. But there's only one woman in particular that I dated in my life that I've never cheated on, and there's only one person. If you're if she happens to listen to this, you know who you are. I'm not naming names. You know exactly who you are. You know who you are. Oh, she's coming into town on Wednesday. I'm gonna go see her. She's basically she's the one that got away. The great white buffalo, the unicorn, whatever you want to call it. Uh, I've been to her wedding, and that like broke my soul. But like I had long before accepted that we would never get back together. And then now she's divorced with her wife. Spoiler alert: gay chick, scissor me timbers. Holy fuck, we've just changed the fucking dynamic of the story. To put a clearer image in your mind, she married a girl, and she's a lesbian or she's bisexual. I don't know. She told me she's 80-20, 80 for girls, 20 for guys. So she's mostly gay. She said she'd go for like a Channing Tatum type. That's where she'd go straight for it. No, she's funny. I love her. What was I saying? Oh yeah, she married a chick, and in the back of my mind, I was like, did I cause this? Is this my fault? Like, because after we broke up, she started like dating women, and I was like, oh, I fucked up bad. Like she hates men. She like we broke off. It was so bad that she was like, fuck guys, I'm switching to girls. This is bullshit, and boom, my fault. But we're still very close. We're very close friends to this day, and she's coming into town. I'm gonna see her. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna catch up, and all that stuff. And she knows everything I just said, so I just had to get that out. And like, yeah, I'm not a good guy. I'm just not. And she was the only one that I was 100% honest with. But past her, I just cheated on everyone, fucked around, and like I don't care, and just like not emotionally invested in another relationship. Like I'm cool with short term. Like if you want to fuck a couple times and then never see each other again, like that's more my steez. That's more my style. That's more my deal. I just can't do it because like even if you're a cool person and I enjoy you, like I'm gonna do something fucked up. So I don't want to break your heart. I don't want to hurt your feelings. So I'm pretty much like I don't think I'm gonna date anyone ever again. Like I really don't. Like it's not important to me. It's just not important. I have too many things going. I have too many things. I'm focusing on myself because first of all, it's much easier to love someone else when you already love yourself. Now, I don't love myself. I appreciate my hustle, and I'm beginning to be more confident in my abilities and my artistic endeavors and all that. I'm more confident in that as a person. But there's got to be room for honesty. You got to hate yourself a little bit, you know. But I don't think someone can support my be on board and support me emotionally. I don't think so. That person's not there. There is, but she divorced her wife, and so in the back of my mind, like, there's a chance, but like, nah, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm just gonna let the great white buffalo be the great white buffalo. It's outside of my control, and I've accepted that. And yeah, there's that. Don't fuck your coworkers. Don't fuck your coworkers. I broke that rule one time, and never again. Never again. Because here's what happens. Now, you might think this is a good idea. Wrong. It's not. So, when you date a coworker, and you're around them, and you're dealing with them in the workspace, whatever that job is, let's just go with a restaurant, because that's what I went through. Excuse me. Don't do it, because what's eventually going to happen is that you're going to break up, and you're still going to have to deal with each other, and that energy can be felt throughout the rest of the staff. So what you do is you leave your baggage at the door, you leave your drama outside of the workplace, but when the drama comes to work with you, it changes the dynamic, it changes the flow of business and etiquette, and everyone knows about it. Everyone knows your drama now. That shit's private, man. Keep that at the door. Leave it at home. You know, you don't want to get too personal with coworkers. You don't. You get along. You're friendly, but like, I don't know. You don't get too personal unless you guys just dig each other. You know, you don't dive in, and you can become great friends or whatever, but just don't fuck your coworkers. And I have seen the forbidden fruit many, many times at the current place that I'm working at, and it is awfully tempting. Ooh. Oh my gosh. So, you know, everybody wears black pants. The waitresses can kind of get away with like really like black leggings, and oh my god, leggings. There's no mystery, man. Everything you see is right there, and there are some forbidden fruits up in my job, but you just can't go there, man. Luckily, my coworkers like have already given me like all the red flags on like half the staff that work there now. So it's enlightening. It keeps me on my good behavior, you know. I'm not a fucking horn dog, but like it's also been a while. But at the same time, I have rules that I will never break ever again because it's a bad idea. A friend of mine did that. Dated this girl for a long time. They worked at the same place for a while, and whenever they were fighting, whenever they were not getting along, everybody knew about it. And that's not the way, man. That's not the way. You want to have at least the least amount of drama in your life as possible. Being in relationships is one of them. Yeah, they're nice. I kind of miss it, but do you ever itch your ankles after wearing socks all day? Ugh. That's the spot, man. I'm just shitting on relationships. But yeah, there are some hotties at the staff, man. Oh my god. But like, there's one girl that has a kid, and I'm like, all right, no. There's another girl who looks nice, and my coworker was like, "Hey, did you see the lips on her?" I'm like, "I didn't really get a good look at her face. I'm not looking at her face, dog." But he was like, "Oh, they're fake," and I go, "Oh, well, cross that one off the list." And I'm like, "Nah, red flag." And he goes like, "Yeah, you're right." I'm like, "Because look, dude, I'm a biter. What if I pop the lip, dude? That's not gonna that's not gonna work out. That's gonna be an ugly situation." You can't just go in hot and fucking like go in dry. No, you got to do some foreplay and all that. But like when there's factors in mind that I'm just like, there's one chick who I think I can kind of tell that this lady has been to other countries, because she gets a little bit too close to you when talking to you. And there's another person, there's like another foreigner type that works in the kitchen that does that. And he's actually like creepy, but like this is a chick that does it, so it doesn't bother me as much. Sexism, yes, there is sexism here. Fuck it. But yeah, she just gets I can't, I don't know, when foreigners don't have a bubble, or like certain countries in Europe, like certain cultures don't have a bubble. Like some people are comfortable getting very close to you when they're talking to you. Like we were talking about how like there's some countries in Africa where in order to let's say teach someone how to run something, or like follow me, like I'll lead the way or whatever. You're grabbed by the hand, and you're gonna like hold hands until you reach this destination. And now in Western culture, like that's considered like inappropriate or like too personal. Like it's more like it's not even like a sexual thing. It's just like we're having a conversation. It's just you and me, And she gets a little close, and I'm like, is she digging me or no? And my coworker's like, oh, she has a boyfriend. I'm like, well, she's standing pretty close to me here. I'm like, nah, like that's just how she is. And I'm thinking like this chick's probably traveled to some places, and I'm not like doubting like, oh, maybe is she low key hitting on me? Like no, like we're having like a conversation with zero sexual innuendo. Like we're getting along, and that's cool. That's great. There's another lady who's got a big butt. Oh God, tits are tits, but like if you don't have an ass, there's no, they're not a chance. You lost me. But this girl's got a booty, and and like I'm kind of eyeing her, and but like forbidden fruit, man, can't go there. Like the only thing stopping me is like this chick would have to get fired or quit, or me get fired or get quit before I exchange her number. Only then could we ever hang out. I just don't. It's just something you don't do, man. It's just it doesn't work out. Now there's a. One of my coworkers is dating like one of the chefs, but they got into a relationship before they both started working there, so that doesn't count. That's different. There are loopholes in this rule of mine. Yeah, that doesn't really count. That's different. And plus, they're adorable. They're so cute together. Aw, love them both. You know who you are. 2 subscribers that listen. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking to. Oh yeah. Something weird happened. And maybe this has happened to you. But you ever have like not a premonition, not like I saw the future or something like that, but you ever think about something like a random scenario in your head, just a random I don't give a shit scenario. In this case, it was you know what? It's not so busy at the restaurant right now. Let's just make a couple of basic rolls, just in case I get fucked. Because I had this thought in the back of my mind, like, what if we're just fucked with orders right now? Like, what if that were to just happen right now? And so I'm like, okay, I'm making pre-rolls or whatever, and there was no orders coming in. It had been dead for like 20 minutes. There's nothing going on. Nobody's ordering sushi. We're just standing around scratching our nuts, eating little bits, like making ourselves little snacks and shit. Fish doesn't have a long shelf life. It really doesn't. A lot actually gets thrown out. So you can take liberties with like little snacks here and there that you can make yourself or make for the staff or whatever. So I'm thinking, oh, I should make some rolls. And then, like, literally, like, 10 minutes later, the lounge server came up to me. He's like, hey, you're going to get some rolls coming in right now. And it was, like, these 2 very specific rolls that came in. And they were the 2 rolls that I had exactly prepared and that were ready at that moment. And I'm like, oh shit, did I just call that? But then again, like, it's also like a complete like coincidence. Like, there's only 2 sushi chefs, and we're trying to keep an entire restaurant happy. So, some days are pretty slow and nobody orders sushi. Some days it's like, oh fuck, everybody wants fish tonight. Okay, here we go, bring it on. But I'm saying like, oh shit, did I call that? But the thing is, like, I've had thoughts and then about like a given scenario, and then 2 weeks later that thing happens, and I'm like, oh fuck, do I have psychic powers? Or something like that, like the Nostradamus effect. But it's a dumb thought, but everyone's had that where like, oh, I dreamt about something, or I fucking thought this situation would, like a specific situation would happen, and that fucking happens. Like, whoa, am I crazy? Am I fucking crazy? Another like really crazy example, this is freaking me out, and it still kind of does, is that I don't know if it's just like within my family, or if this is possibly like a gift or a curse or whatever, but about 10 years ago, but no, 12 years ago, my brother and I went to Oklahoma to see our aunt, and we were ordered to do some physical labor for her during our time there, and it was to tear down a big gas barn, and we were given a couple of crowbars, angry teenagers, let's go have some fun, just like banging shit up. And one day our aunt, she stepped on a rusty nail by accident, and it was and like we had to go get a tetanus shot, and her husband was like joking with her, like, oh, you're gonna lose that foot. Now here's the creepy part. About 3 years ago, my aunt gets in a car accident, a motorcycle accident rather, loses that foot in the accident, and her husband dies, and it's terrible. It's an awful event. It's an awful thing, terrible thing that happened. The first thing, when I found out, I called her up. It's like, hey, let's go bar hopping. Just trying to make a joke, and she fucking loved it. She loved that joke so much, because that's how I heal, through humor. As dark, as fucked up as that was, like, the first thing I fucking thought of was like, let's go bar hopping. I'm such an asshole. But then when my brother found out about it, the first thing he thought was like, hey, remember that exact situation where she had to get the tetanus shot? And I'm like, oh fuck. Do you think, what? Like, we're just tripping for a while. Like, that's crazy how you remember that, like, the first thing right away. And I think my brother has a little bit of a Nostradamus effect. He low-key called Bernie Sanders running for president in 2011. This is a tough claim. This is really a tough claim. I'm going to have him on the podcast. We're going to talk about it. There's this fucking channel surfing, and it's like go through C-SPAN. It happens to be like Bernie Sanders on the Senate floor, and it was like in 2011. And he was talking about like opposing the Iraq War or whatever, and and that was still going on, and all. It's still fucking going on. And my brother was like, "Hey, this guy makes a lot of sense. He should run for president? Why isn't he running right now? What the fuck? Like, come on. He should run." And then 5 years later, this motherfucker's running. And when he came around the circuit in 2016, like, I think we brought that up in conversation. Like, did you fucking call that shit? He also called, like, him in sports, him in basketball specifically, is nuts. Like, I don't know why he's not betting. Luke, I know you listen to this podcast. Bet on sports. Just throw a little money into some sports, because you call some shit that is fucking nuts. I swear to God. Just, he's got a sharp eye for the game of basketball and baseball too, and I don't know why he's not putting money into that, because there's just some shit that is like, oh, he called it. It's crazy. I can't even explain. He's got to be here to talk about it. It's really nuts. It's really fucking nuts. Anyhow, it's a late night. I got shit to do. I got work in the morning. We're going to keep it short. Once again, I have a comedy show on July 18th at Flappers in Burbank. Go to my Instagram, Jake L. Bassi on Instagram, to keep up to date with shows and all that jazz. I'm starting to get tired. Well, we climaxed. We had a good time tonight. Signing off.